2.7 trillion is a mind-boggling figure. I'm sure even many in the audience here don't know how many zeros that is.
They have the zeros, they just don't have the figure. Hey, Mazi, asante sana for joining us for another classic episode of the Wicked Edition. I'm your host, Dr. Kingori. Now, this is the second week tunaanza show na story ya wanyama, Mazi. Now, there's this video that has been doing rounds on the internet of a lion roaming in a residential area around saa 8 usiku in the morning. And we have not independently verified the location, lakini wase wanasema ni Rongai. Batiki ya Rongai, Mazi. Unajua security ya Rongai ni mbaya, man. Unapata hii ni dogi ya mzee. Now, for the longest time, wase wamekuwa kijam, wase wa Rongai, ukasirika ukisema wanaishi mbali. Now, this video, the video that we've just showed you, makes it worse because it would mean that sahi ni accurate kusema wase wa Rongai wanaishi msituni. Mazi, alafu haters pia wache ufala. After kuona hii video, after hii video ilitokea, nimesikia watu wakisema, ati mademu wa Rongai ni wa mama pori. Now, Mazi, but jokes aside, this is serious. This means that Rongai could now be more dangerous than Roysambu. Kama uko na mtu wako Mazi anaishi side za Rongai, please check up on them. Anaweza kulwa. Unajua? Mazi, Mazi, unajua ule msipo wangu wa kwea? Mazi wametoka club saa 8 usiku. Nampigia shiki. Alafu naambiwa alikulwa jana. Now, move. Mazi, nini washirati? Hiyo ni kitu ya kupigia makofi. Now, anyway, every week we have more evidence that Riggy G, our deputy president, is a truthful man. While speaking at a homecoming ceremony, Interior PS Ray Omolo, the deputy president had this to say.
Najua Mheshimiwa Ochieng anaona mimi nakaa karibu na Dr. William Ruto na Dr. Raymond Omolo, anafikiria mimi pia nimekuwa daktari. Ukweli ni kwamba masomo yangu iko chini kidogo. Si ni mzuri kusema ukweli? Na ndio mimi najua mimi ninaelewa mambo mingi, hata kama sijasoma sana, niko na network kidogo. Ukija area hii kama ujui Kiingereza vizuri, ongea Kiswahili.
Mazi, that's an honest man. Anakupea reasons za kukupiga Kiswahili. Now, the story is interesting because around the area where Riggy G was making that speech, there's another version of the deputy president mwenye hata hiyo Kiswahili hajui.
Kwanza ningetaka nikujua mtaani huku mtaa huku kila mtu anakuita jina Teno.
Kwa ni lungi nangu Gachagua. Kwa ni joeria ni lungi nangu. Sawa.
This lookalike thing has gotten into the Riggy G doppelganger mpaka he's being addressed as Gachagua. I know tumekava hii story ya lookalike on the show before, but hii likatch attention yangu because of the similarities. First, I learned that the lookalike aliachia shule class 5. Alafu unasikia His Excellency anasema hivi kwa speech.
Ukweli ni kwamba masomo yangu iko chini kidogo.
Gachagua baada hajamaliza shule, niliulizia wakaniambia Gachagua is a slow learner, so walimpeleka shule sijui kama naweza mention jina ya shule.
Maze, huo msee ni Riggy G mpaka ukimuita na real name yake haitiki. Mpaka umuite Gachagua ndio akujibu. And that's not all. I believe mnakumbuka time ya campaign, during the campaigns before elections, our deputy president was on record promising that wakishinda kuna keje yake ataorganize watu wako wanaenda wanakula mchele na nyama. Mnakumbuka? Bas, guess the favorite food ya Riggy G lookalike.
Anapenda chakula gani muulize?
Gachagua yero chemo man. Mchele.
Mazi, I say wanafanana mpaka favorite food. Now, moving on, I believe that by now we are familiar na hiyo story ya avocado painting scandal.
To all the lovers of avocados, look at what is happening to this avocado. Kwanza utaona ni avocado ya purple because it is harsh. Then when you come and put them in the house, ukiweka, mimi nilinunua yangu a week ago. So nikaweka ndio iive. Kukuja kuangalia nikapata haiivi, lakini sasa mimi nimeshtuka. Kwenda kutoa avocado zangu yenye inapia to me like it is ripe, unaenda unapata si kuiva imeiva, imeoza. You can see for yourself. Imeoza, look.
And here I was wondering how painters make money in Kenya. Now, is there even a law against kupaka avocado rangi? Ama they will be charged kama graffiti artist. Ama they will be charged for painting a bad picture of food. Now, the story has now taken a new twist after the authorities arrested the man, the culprit, behind the scheme.
Sasa pia tunataka Wakenya waone picha ya yule ambaye anahusika kwenye haya mambo. Sasa yule ambaye anahusika kwa nini? Kwa hii mambo. Kwa kuuzia wananchi na wasafiri nini? Yana biashara. Mnaona?
Waze, kama kuna watu hawatawai ama hawawezi ya kuwa affected na hii story ni bachelors. Unajua bachelors wamezoea kuchukua mali kwa soko juu ya rangi, alafu ukifika kwa nyumba unapata haijaiva. Unajua? Yeah, and the only people who have been exploited using this trick are travelers who just buy things without inspecting. Unajua kuna kuangana conversation interesting sana kama avocado ni mboga. In the wake of this avocado scandal, sasa ndio bachelors wanataka kukuja na all manner of justification. Maze, ukitaka kujua kama kitu imeiva, kwanza lazima ifinywe. Moving forward, sasa najua kila mtu akiona avocado kwa kibanda. Hey, we have a great show lined up for you. Our guest for this episode could have been the president of this country in the past elections if things would have gone his way. He's one of the most successful businessmen in this country, standing up to be counted among the few billionaires with his name on some of the biggest infrastructure projects. This is the episode that we all hope to learn the art of the deal, the science of circulation of money, and the chance we all have to make it. Jimi Wanjigi is in the house. He's joining us on the other end of this short commercial break. See you in a bit. Asante sana, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us back on the Weekend Edition. Welcome back, Mazi. Asante sana. Our guest for this episode, in simple terms, is a library of money. He's a gentleman who has his name on almost some of the biggest infrastructure projects in the country. Leo tunataka, one of the things I hope tunaweza learn kwa hii episode ni ule msana toka shule sahi akona chance gani in the job market, and how many of us have a chance of making what we call real money. Jimi Wanjigi is in the house. Karibu sana.
Asante sana daktari.
Karibu, and so kind of you.
Yes.
To make time for us, especially after a church service.
That's correct.
And I know the people watching us are wondering, we know you to have money. And most people go to church to ask God for money. So, what do you go to church to ask God for?
What do you mean most people go and ask God for money? Is that true?
Most people are wondering why you're asking most people going to church to ask God for money.
Is that what they go and ask for? I thought they go and ask for blessings.
Thank you. That's confirmation that you don't ask God for money. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Asante sana daktari.
Karibu. Na hata uko unaenda church sai, it means you go a long way in a church. Na I will take you as far back as Sunday school. Na Sunday school kuna kitu walikuwa wanatuambia. A rich man will not go to heaven. How do you dare go against the will of God?
Those are people who want you to be poor and think that there is some glorification in being poor.
Okay.
Where is that in the Bible?
Sunday school. It's in the Sunday school.
Quote. No,
I don't remember the page.
That is some teacher telling you in private, in Sunday school.
Okay.
But where is it in the Bible? Quote exactly. And when you do, get its reference. Yes. So those are people who are trying to tell you, be happy.
Okay.
To be poor.
Okay.
There's no glory in being poor. Is there? No. Right. There's no glory in being poor. Why should people not strive to be rich? We must stop this scarcity mentality. The mentality that, it's okay to be small. It's okay to be alive.
Okay.
No, those are people who are stopping you from your greatness. Don't accept it. Don't accept it in life.
That's myth number one, busted. Another one you can bust before we continue with the show. People always talk about more money, more problems. What does that mean to you?
That means you had no purpose. Yeah. Why should you have more problems? You see, the essence of money is not just to make more money. It's to have new challenges, to conquer new challenges, to overcome new obstacles, to invent, to create, to keep going.
Okay.
So why should that be problems?
Sawa. Myth number 2 busted. No, more money, more problems does not exist.
It does not exist.
So according to you, what is your definition of poverty? Is it a mentality or is it a financial situations?
It's both. And it starts with a mentality.
Okay.
If you yourself believe you're poor and that you can never achieve, that's the first. The second is actually being poor.
Okay.
That you decide your bare existence is just to survive, is just to feed yourself and those that are immediately around you. That you can't be greater than that. And that's the most unfortunate thing. Now, it's important you understand that this is a phenomenon that has been perpetuated for centuries by the ruling class. For centuries.
Okay.
Right? Kingdoms were always conquered on the basis of the subjects must be down. And the kings who have their soldiers and have their area go and conquer, and they give the spoils to the elite. Life is not about being poor. It is an indoctrination.
Okay. And you use a very interesting word there. If you have decided that yours is to, like, for example, get food and stuff, you have decided.
Yes.
So poverty is a decision.
It's a decision. And it's a decision that comes out of a brainwashing. It's important you understand that.
Okay.
You're made to feel you can never be big.
Okay.
Right? Because there's one thing that money does. It gives you freedom. So you have no obstacles.
Okay.
You can think freely. You can do freely. You can act freely. It gives you freedom.
Okay.
And there are many people who never want you to have that financial independence.
You are very honest and straightforward. You said your dad had money. Where ulikuwa na do from before? See wewe, your dad had money.
Yes.
But you also said that you did not depend on him.
That's correct.
Right? Uliponea wapi?
You know, let me tell you something. If you have a good brain and a good heart, you will enter any door in this country. All right? The key is whether you're able to stay in. Is your idea good enough to stay in the room? Even outside this country, there are people who work on what are called telephone appointments. Have you ever heard of that, Daktari? You know, Sisi, we take our telephone for granted. Mm-hmm. There are people, if you need to call them, you have to book an appointment. Simu. And you have, yes, kwa simu. And you have a 5-minute conversation. The secretary calls you a minute before, tells you be on in 1 minute, hold on the line, he comes on, you have 5 minutes, and he has to go to the next phone call. So there are people who are that pressed with their time.
Kwani ni customer care?
No, you're talking about extremely wealthy people in this world. Busy. You have 5 minutes to make a case.
Yes.
And if you make it in the first minute,
Yes.
okay, the person says, 5 minutes is not enough. Can you come, we meet? I've heard you, you make sense to me. And he will ask you maybe one question. If you make sense, you stay in the room. If you don't, you never have that chance again. Umeshika hiyo? You won't get that chance again. So, this is about capacity. And we have it. The first thing is that we must stop thinking small. Stop thinking we are poor and we have no capacity.
Yes.
We must think big. We must do our research. We must be smart. You're not going to meet big people and start talking to them about making 10,000 shillings. They don't care. Okay? They want to understand, what is your idea? Do you really believe in it? And does this have prospects of changing lives? Because the greatest thing about all this is changing lives. If you see everything in life, it's about changing lives.
Who did you learn this
AI
from?
is discovered, okay, today. It's about changing lives. It's not even a conversation in this country. AI is a very big topic. It is going to take away people's jobs. So I don't know why people are saying they want jobs. All these cameras, even you. I've even seen in India, they have an AI anchor. Have you seen them?
I mean, welcome
They
to
have
the
no. And they research what voice do people want to hear, what kind of face do they want to see, what kind of clothing, right? And that AI anchor can take questions, can answer within seconds because their database is just there.
You shared some very scary stats when in our first meeting. You said things like people who are who would be classified as middle class in this country are ikienda sana 500,000.
Oh, that was during Kibaki's time.
Oh, yes, you say, yes. And then the next regime reduced it to 375,000.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So 375,000 only in a population of 53 million
Yes.
qualified to be identified as middle class.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What is the difference? Like, what are the strokes that determine
A
whether
middle class?
Yes.
Let me give you another stat that will frighten you. Only, according to KNBS, and I'll accept this as a stat,
Yes.
79,000 people have 100,000 in their account.
Okay.
79,000
79,000.
people. So it tells you we are very low below any radar you can imagine. The stats also say that we have a multi-dimensional poor of 63%. Multi-dimensional means
You are poor from all
that
sides.
6 out of 10 people are struggling to put a meal, to pay school fees, to pay even a little modicum of a little sickness in a hospital. 6 out of every Kenyan. 60 years after independence.
6 out of 10 Kenyans.
Yes, 60 years after independence.
Then who are these people on
Are you
Instagram?
telling me that
Unajua-
we fought for this uhuru so that 60% can still be poor?
Ndio nauliza, if 6 out of 10 Kenyans are poor hivyo kabisa, who do we see on Instagram?
You know, maybe you can educate me about the young generation.
Yeah.
Because I hear they say fake it until you make it.
Oh.
Am I wrong?
Aya, iko sawa. So in terms of, like, let's say for example, you ran for president. What would you have done different to change the stats from this 75,000 to a number that can be felt?
Well, this is a country with so much wealth and money. And I'll tell you our greatest wealth is our human resource. Our 50 million Kenyans are educated. They like to work. They are very creative. They are very disciplined. And this land of ours produces. Do you know that in the last 10 years, we've had what you call a tax surplus? The taxes that we produce have been more than the government needs for all its requirements. But they keep borrowing. And they keep borrowing. Because that is a scheme to keep us in poverty. We have enough in this country. Enough money. We don't even need this mzungu money they talk about. Sijui nini. We don't need it.
See, that's why the president is increasing taxes, because we have enough
because
in this
no,
country.
that tax, let me tell you, that tax bill that he has brought called the Finance Act 2023, he should repeal it yesterday. He should repeal it.
Okay.
He should get rid of it. Go back to the drawing board. It's his maiden budget. It is a failure, and it is just going to send this country into greater poverty.
Where is the money?
Let me give you an example.
Yes.
50% of our 10 trillion debt, na mushika hii vizuri, our debt is 10 trillion shillings. 50% is our local banks here. 5 trillion shillings is our money in local banks. Unajua, a bank does not have its own money. It's our money. That money is put in government bonds. They take our money, our savings, give us 5%. They take our money to the government, and the government gives them 10%. Then our taxes go to pay the bank. Okay? When we ask for a loan, they tell us come for a loan at 15%. It's all our money. From our banks, from our taxes.
But don't people
Does it
have
make
the
sense?
chance? No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
But
And
don't
then the
people have
most
a
frightening
chance?
thing is that money has not gone towards any project. It has not built any road. It has not built any bridge, any water project, nothing.
In terms of investment, almost all financial experts are advising people to put their money in bonds, right? Instead of putting your money in the bank, go take your money to the government. They will give you 14% return. Instead of going through the banks, peleka kwa bonds.
Let me tell you something, Daktari, before I even say anything. That is illegal. What they've been doing with this is illegal. And it has been going on for far too long. It is
Treasury
a chain.
bonds are illegal.
Yes, it is a chain and nyororo to keep us poor. I can tell you this.
How?
It is illegal. There's nowhere in our laws, and our money laws are called public finance management laws.
Yes.
In our Constitution and in Public Finance Management Act, there's nowhere where it says you can borrow bills and bonds. You can only borrow for development. And those bills and bonds do not go towards development. They go towards some consumption, which we don't know. Because in the same books, they show us how our taxes pay for everything. They pay for the police, you see, all the employees of government. They pay for the president's travel, all operations of government. They pay for counties, they pay for everywhere. So the problem we're having is that we have a government and schemers who are sitting down and saying, let us sap this money from Kenyans, right? And let us enjoy it. Shall I tell you how much money has been made out of 5 trillion over the last 10 years? Interest, 2.7 trillion shillings. Were we giving this money at 50% interest rate? Because it's more than 50%.
Okay.
2.7 trillion is a mind-boggling figure. I'm sure even many in the audience here don't know how many zeros that is.
Sawa.
You don't know how many zeros?
Sawa. Sawa. They have the zeros. They just don't have the figure. So now, you are running for president. The biggest crisis we have now is unemployment. What would you have done to solve the situation?
Oh, immediately. I can tell you that, Dr. off the top of my head. Okay. One of the first things I would have done is make sure that that money is no longer taken by government. Right?
Okay.
So that money, the banks take it back. When the banks take it back, they're too liquid. So they'll look for you, doctor, and tell you, please, can you come for a loan? You take a loan of 1 million shillings, we'll give you at an interest rate of 5%. That means over 1 year, you pay 50,000 shillings interest. Who here would not do biashara?
Are you saying the government is the reason loans in banks are unaffordable for the local
Yes, absolutely. And that is why they don't even want to loan you money. They tell you you're a risk. It's better I put in government securities.
Okay. Sawa.
So we have, that's one issue. The other is that we've never addressed something called productivity.
Yes.
Kenyans are not shown how to make money. The opportunities that are there. A government has decided they're the ones who will do everything for you. Nobody educates you about self-employment. And let me tell you, my advice to young people, stop looking for employment. Create your own self-employment. This is the future of this country because we have a conquest. We must have an agenda.
Before we let you go, in just 1 minute, right? Just 1 minute. You started your business without debt.
Yes.
Umesema, when it comes to reviving the economy, pia stimulating, is the government to allow banks to trade with ordinary people. Like we explained that,
correct,
right? So if you started without debt, is it a guarantee that everybody in this life today, everybody watching, has a chance to start without debt?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. It's important people understand this very important point. Okay. Out of every 100 shillings the government gets from us, 70% goes to debt. 70 shillings is going to debt payments.
Okay.
So it's important you understand that. That's why they want to finance more and more.
Yes.
Because they can't make ends meet. It's like a biashara. If you pass 20 shillings, 30 shillings of your 100 going towards debt, if you pass, in fact, biashara is 30 shillings. You know you cannot make it. You cannot make it.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. You can't make it. You're just going to need more and more debt to sustain yourself. So the key thing here, ndugu yangu, is this. You can't begin without debt. It can't begin with an idea. An idea, a unique idea.
And how you believe in it.
Yes. I mean, people are looking at me saying, how can you make money out of garbage? Why do you want that rubbish business?
Okay.
But we did. I sold that company 3 years later for a good money.
Hey, Mazi. Asante sana. Asante. Our director, Jackie, has been very kind to add us a few more minutes, but this conversation is not complete because I was hoping tunaweza ingia kwa story ya, you had a very interesting explanation of the circulation of money. So, hii kitu iende part 2 ama? Tunaweza kupata tena, unajua pia.
You know, at the shortest notice, you know, for you, ndugu yangu, I respect you. You've created a very unique thing here.
Asante. We would like to invite you again for a second part to explain the circulation of money.
Correct.
Alafu sasa tumalizie the chance ya sasa everyone has to make it to billions. Jimmy Wanjigi ako na story interesting sana ya mpaka vile walikuwa Daru na shule moja na akina Unye, and I think that's also another conversation. But in the interest of time, na Jackie pia amekuwa patient for us. Wapi makofi ya Jimmy Wanjigi? Maze. And thank you by the way for being kind enough to make time for us. This is the first time we've recorded the show at awkward hours kwa sababu ya interesting circumstances that were out of both our controls. But we've done our best with the little time we have. Mmesoma kitu? Yes. Aya basi. That's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.